Good morning. This is another episode of Primer Educational Resources in Scientific Parapsychology. Today we're going to talk about resources on YouTube for building your own library in scientific parapsychology. I have chosen two young men who are at the very beginnings of their career. They're both very serious, and they both have very different perspectives, but are really reading some really good materials. Now, back in the day when I was their age, so 35 years ago probably, we used to right away to the foundations and browse bookstores and see if we could get bibliographic guides. There were a couple of good ones out there. And otherwise build our libraries in a very sort of time-consuming way that, if we were very lucky, would culminate in finding other individuals who were on the same kind of quest for knowledge that we were. And then one of the best pleasures was to stand in front of somebody's bookshelf and let them give you a tour of what they were reading. YouTube brings everybody from all over the world together in the same place, and lots of things are being shared there. There's a huge educational subculture. It's not just cats and music. On YouTube, there's all kinds of other things going on. So these are two guys that I have found through social networking and through just searching for good sources of parapsychology, who have both given a tour of their private library. The first one is Tyler Anderson from Utah. His channel is called Tyler Logica, and that's TYLERLOGICA. I highly recommend it. This is his very first YouTube video, so that's kind of why the quality is the way that it is. But it gives you a sense of his library. That's a great way to learn about books. So let's hear a snippet of what Tyler has to say.
Parapsychology, the Controversial Science by Dr. Richard Broughton, an important parapsychologist. Just analyzes the current state of parapsychology and gives you a description of what parapsychology is. Of course, The Conscious Universe by Dr. Neaton Radin, one of the very best books you can find, just giving a comprehensive overview of the field. The Mind Race by Dr. Keith Hariri and Russell Targ. Russell Targ is a physicist, Dr. Keith Hariri is a psychologist. This is just examining the evidence for remote viewing, applications of remote viewing, etc.
He's got a really good library. He's got a lot of the classics, and he's got a lot of the modern stuff. He's very interested in philosophy, so you get a lot of information about that. So I recommend subscribing to his YouTube channel. Now we go to the second guy that I'm recommending, also a young man, also at the beginning of his career. His name is Simon Hardison, SIMON HARDISON. I think he's from North Carolina, and he's got an interest in scientific parapsychology that also includes a pretty wide knowledge of and interest in skeptical sources and magic and mentalism. So here's a snippet of his tour of his library.
Is something very dear to me, actually. This was a $75 book. It's a first edition of The Life of Richard Hodgson by Alex Baird, or however you say his name. But it's basically Hodgson's biography. And Richard Hodgson is one of the psychical researchers I admire the most. He's one of the original psychical researchers, alongside Myers, that I really hold in very high esteem. Also hold William James in high esteem. Graham Nichols. Is There an Afterlife by David Fontana. This is a very brilliant book right here. It's the biography written by Trevor Hamilton on Frederick Myers. And Myers is probably the, genius of psychical research, if there was one.
It's a great way to find out what other people are reading and what they recommend. Subscribe to both of these channels on YouTube if you're interested in scientific parapsychology, and that you take the recommendations that these young men are giving in terms of what are the best books to read. They certainly have hit some of the classics. So that's it for today, and I hope you enjoy becoming an active and lifelong learner in scientific parapsychology.